Hey everybody, and welcome back to the next part in my dialing in series for the Line 6 Helix. I'm finally getting around to what has been a very requested tone, as there have been a lot recently. This one is kind of a part two to what a tone I'd done in the past, which is Eric Johnson's tone. I did kind of a Cliffs of Dover-esque sound a while back, but I had a lot of people asking for something more like Eric's clean tone. So I decided, just going through the Ah Via Musicom album again, that maybe the song Trademark would be a good sort of reference to go with on dialing in Eric's tone. So I found a backing track for that. I did a little performance video like usual. It'll be up at the same time as this. The backing track I found wasn't bad quality, but there was some weird little timing things going on in some of the fills. Kind of strange when somebody does a drum machine backing track and the fills are out of time, especially with being able to line up things perfectly in time with the drum machine. Anyway, so it was a little weird to play over at little parts, but overall it was passable, so I left it up. So anyways, check it out. What you're hearing there is this preset in the mix, untouched, no post-processing. Again, if you want to hear how it sounds. So let's dive over to HX Edit, take a look at what I did. I called the patch Trademark EJ, and I ended up using the US double norm, which is Fender Twin model, in our Helix. And I believe, I don't know if that's what Eric used on Trademark. I know he was known for a lot of the clean sounds using a twin, so I went with that, and I think I got pretty close on it. One thing I want to mention though is I found a really important part of the tone, if you can see here, is being on position 4 on a Strat. So being neck and middle pickup. When I started off on the neck pickup, and when I went to the neck and middle together, it really brought the tone closer to what I feel Eric was doing. Maybe he didn't use that, but I'm thinking he did. So that I'll demonstrate this tone on all the different pickup settings, but this is what I settled on in the mix of what you'll hear on the performance video. So let's go over to the end here. Again, normal LA Studio comp for me at the end. Peak reduction of 6, gain of 5, mix of 100%. Nothing really on the EQ other than 100 hertz low cut and 12 kilohertz high cut like normal. The reverb, quite big. Eric this is a huge reverb sound on it. So I went with a Hall reverb with a decay of 7, pre-delay of 19 milliseconds, and a mix of 40%. It's gonna sound very wet out of the mix. It's gonna sound pretty wet in the mix too, but I think it got close to what sort of the amount of reverb that Eric had on it. So again, you can adjust this to your own taste, right? If you like a little less, and because you're not playing with a band or in a mix, you pull the mix back. Or maybe you just want a little shorter decay so it doesn't have that huge tail on the end of it. But that's what I went with. I also went with a duck delay, not using the ducking at all, just because I believe that's the TC Electronics 2290, kind of a very pristine delay. But I did a setting that was kind of interesting here. I found when I set it to the tempo of 170, which is roughly around what Trademark is at, a dotted eighth note rather than an eighth note or a quarter note. When I had it set at a quarter note or an eighth note, I found that it didn't give the sound I was hearing from Eric's tone in Trademark. So by going to the dotted eighth note, it kind of gave that off-kilter kind of thing where it made the delays more obvious, which is something I don't usually do, but it seemed to match what Eric was doing here. But for your purposes, if you're playing this and you don't like the sound of that kind of dotted eighth note delay, just change that to an eighth note or a quarter note to whatever your liking is, and it's going to work fine. And maybe I'll demonstrate that in a bit. Feedback of 30%, mix of 33%. So not like ridiculously high settings, but still fairly wet, right? Split crossover. Set it at 1 kilohertz and just gave it a little boost of all the frequencies above 1 kilohertz, plus 1 dB. Didn't do anything to the ones below. The cab was the stock cab that's paired up with the US double norm, which is a 212 double C12N. 121 ribbon mic at 1 inch to give some beef to the sound, because with the amp here, what I did is I put the drive settings at 5, bass at 10, mid at 10, treble at 10, presence at 8.5, and I just found that Royer 121 model just sounded good 1 inch back. So channel volume at 10, master at 10. All right, and I even put just a dab of compression at the beginning to help smooth things out, and this could be, taken off if somebody doesn't like it, but threshold at -6, just so it was barely touching it. ratio 2:1, attack 10 milliseconds, release 100 milliseconds, and more of a parallel delay set with the mix at 50%, okay? So what did this sound like? Well, here it is. So you kind of hear it has that Johnson-esque tone to it, right? So like I was saying with the delay, if we change that to a quarter note, fine, or an eighth note. So if that's more to your liking, that's fine. I went with the dotted eighth. Just because it seemed to work better for me. Again, with the verb, you know, if I pull it back from 40% to maybe 25. Sounds nice. I went up to 40, or with the decay back a bit. Still works fine, right? I mean, either way, it's just a real personal preference, and I was kind of trying to get what Eric kind of has in. So how does that sound in different pickup settings? Well, here's the neck position. Bridge. Position 2. And position 3. And back to the original position 4. Which I found gave the most authentic trademark type sound. All right, so that's what I did, guys. I hope you enjoy that. There's the preset. I'll have that up on custom tone. By the time this video comes up, try it out, give it a shot, try it with different guitars, see how it sounds. And there's tweaks that can be made to it to your own liking, right? And also give the performance video a listen just so you can kind of hear what that sounds like in the mix. I apologize for the wonky backing track in a couple spots. But I hope you guys like it, and download it and enjoy. So thanks so much for tuning in. Please share the video, like it if you don't mind, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate all the support you guys give me, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Thanks so much. Ciao for now, and talk soon.